We are on the tip of Africa and one of the most amazing countries ever, South Africa.
South Africa is my favorite country in the whole world.
I can't wait to meet all the African animals.
This is Journey into Wild South Africa, the African Savanna.
South Africa is a very diverse nation. There's a reason why they call it the Rainbow Nation. In South Africa, there are 12 national languages.
It's a country filled with astounding beauty, jaw-dropping nature, thriving cities, and incredible coastlines.
In South Africa, there are the big 5. Elephant, rhino, buffalo, lion, leopard.
Plus, South Africa has a striking diversity of ecology: forests, mountains, wetlands, marine, and of course, the savanna.
We flew into Cape Town, which is the most iconic city in the country. Cape Town is a young, hip city with over half the population being under the age of 25. There are about 7,000 endemic plant species here in Cape Town, which can't be found anywhere else on the planet. How cool is that?
Cape Town is a harbor city with 4.8 million people, and the V&A waterfront is at the heart of it all.
In the distance, you can see Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was held as a prisoner for many years. And here on land, you can see African dancers celebrating their traditional heritage.
Day 1, we had to go to the top of Table Mountain. You can see it from everywhere in Cape Town. It's so big and beautiful.
Table Mountain is one of the new 7 wonders of nature and Africa's #1 tourist attraction.
It's called Table Mountain because it looks like a table. The cable car takes you up to the mountain in just 5 minutes. It's a rotating floor, which means you can see the city below and the mountain you're climbing. At the top, there are paths to explore, rocks to climb, and views from all sides. South Africa's special plants are called fynbos. These plants are so interesting.
Table Mountain is one of the 7 wonders of nature because it has the widest variety of flowers and plant life in the world, more than are in all of the British Isles combined.
Music is very important to our family, and we really love opera. My good friend Magdalene Minar is the artistic director of the Cape Town Opera. I asked Magdalene to give our kids a tour of the opera house.
Hello girls.
Hi.
I'm Magdalene and I'm the artistic director of Cape Town Opera, and this is Artscape.
I play the violin and my sisters play the ukulele, piano, and flute.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
We like symphony orchestra music, opera, and jazz.
This is behind the scenes of a great theater.
Magdalene showed us around the theater.
Hello. Goeding julle? Alright. Can I interrupt for a second? Of course. Albert's job is he's a vocal coach, so he helps singers to prepare the music, maybe with language, with musical phrasing, where to breathe, notes, all of those kind of things.
Can you believe those voices?
It's too late, boy. I think it's time for you to settle down to the title business with your brothers.
We stopped into a rehearsal for a new show called Buddy Holly.
It's a bit unglamorous when it's just a rehearsal.
And pretty soon, this show will be on stage in packed theaters. How fun to have a job as a costume designer for operas and plays.
Cool, hey?
Yeah. What an incredible opera house.
Along the coast of Cape Town is one of the most spectacular drives I've ever been on.
It's called Chapmans Peak Drive. It goes along the Atlantic coast. Local people call it Chappies. The scenery is majestic. This is a feat of engineering. They blasted this rock out of the side of the cliff. Isn't it beautiful?
What a drive! Incredible!
We rented a house in Hout Bay, which is part of the Greater Cape Town region. We loved our stay in this cozy house. It was the perfect setting for exploring Cape Town and the Winelands. The house has a spacious, open plan and a fully equipped kitchen. Our favorite part was that it overlooked the beautiful beach of Hout Bay. The house is filled with light and decorated in an African style. There are 3 levels to the house, each with their own extra-large ensuite bedroom-bathroom. We enjoyed Hout Bay so much. We explored the beach, swam in the ocean, and spent time at the local cafes and markets.
Cape Point is one of those must-see places in the Greater Cape Town region.
Where are you going, Jed?
Taking a drive to the end of Africa. We're here in the Cape of Good Hope. This is the very tip of South Africa, the very tip of the continent of Africa, and we are surrounded by the beautiful Atlantic Ocean and far in the distance, the Indian Ocean.
In 1488, an explorer called this the Cape of Storms because it was so treacherous for sailors. It is a graveyard for ships. Over 1,000 shipwrecks have been found along this coastline. That was until 1859, when a new lighthouse was built to help guide ships around this tip of Africa. Later, the King of Portugal renamed it the Cape of Good Hope, because once they had found a safe way around the tip, they could then trade with other nations in Asia.
Cape Point is gorgeous. I love the lighthouse.
You'll also come to Cape Point to see animals in the wild, whales, baboons, and ostriches.
Those baboons are cheeky. One tried to grab my shirt.
We even saw 2 whales just off the coast. How cool is that? It was amazing to show these kids this very special UNESCO World Heritage Site.
One of my favorite places in Cape Town is called Boulders Beach.
Talk about a journey into wild. We were at Boulders Beach in Cape Town, South Africa. We are hanging out with some new friends, African penguins. They're everywhere. This is where they live. They have their families. They go fishing. They come back, sunbathe on the beach. They were not at all concerned with us being here in their space. We just were part of the family for a little bit. We waddled with them on the beach. We hung out, took some pictures, and while they're sunbathing, we're sunbathing.
This is such a fun place. It's where wild penguins make their home. You walk on the beach and you just see these adorable African penguins. You can even swim with them. Pretty special. Just 100 years ago, there were over 1 million African penguins.
You know, this is the African penguin. You know where it came from?
Africa.
Yeah, Africa. You know why we call it the African penguin? Yeah, it's because it's from Africa.
But now they have become an endangered species. So much conservation has been done to protect them. Now the penguin colony at Boulders has 3,000 birds.
Oh, hi!
Hey! Hello!
Aren't you the sweetest thing?
What a joy to be so close to these penguins. They are super cute.
This beach is one of the top attractions in Cape Town because there's few places in the world where you can go and swim and walk with African penguins right on the shore.
Just south of the city of Cape Town, there is a beautiful valley called Constantia with 10 unique wine farms.
Each of the wineries offer unique experiences, not just for the adults, but also for the kids as well. Some have play areas, others have farm experiences. Our kids love being on wine estates.
At one of the wine farms, the girls loved going to the bike park, right in the middle of the vineyards.
I love the bike park. What a ride. There's so many obstacles and pathways.
South Africa is really into farmers markets and night markets where people just get around the table to enjoy some good food and some good wine. I'm a big coffee lover. I could drink it all day, every day. My favorite South African brew comes from Seattle coffee.
In the roasting process, they can create hundreds of aroma compounds. Every step of the process affects the final flavor of the coffee. Learning to roast coffee is a very scientific process.
African coffee, the best.
Get this, there are over 2,600 wineries in South Africa. That is a lot of grapes and a lot of wine. Franschhoek is the French corner of the Cape, and some say it is one of the most beautiful valleys in the whole world. It was founded by French Huguenots who fled France when Protestantism was outlawed in the 1600s. Franschhoek is the food and wine capital of South Africa, and it has over 30 gorgeous wine estates to experience.
Throughout South Africa, there is a lot of influence from the Dutch.
At Babylonstoren, we show the girls the classic Cape Dutch architecture. This has central gables, thatched roofs, and whitewashed walls. Usually this architecture features large sash windows, green detailing. It's very similar to the canal houses you find in the Netherlands. My favorite wine estate in all of the greater Cape Town region is a place called Creation Wines. Now this is set in a valley which directly translates to heaven and earth, and it really is. Creation is known for producing fresh, beautiful Chardonnays and Pinot Noirs. Over the years, my husband and I have been to over 150 wineries across South Africa, and I do believe that Creation Wines has the most consistently beautiful wine of all of them. This place was voted the best vineyard in Africa by the world's best vineyards.
Whenever we're in a new country, we hope we get invited to a friend's house for a traditional meal. In Cape Town, a friend Magdalene invited us to share a Poy Pot. I love learning about new food. In South Africa, Poy means small pot food. It's a meal cooked in a cast iron pot called a Poy. Usually it's with meat and vegetables. It can be prepared outside on a fire or inside on a stove. Our Poy Pot had lamb and lots of vegetables.
Cape Town and the Cape Winelands would delight any traveler. From Cape Town, we drove along the southern coast of South Africa on the Garden Route.
The Garden Route is a stretch of 150 miles of coastal road along the tip of South Africa. The route runs the Garden Route National Park with lagoons, beaches, forests, and lakes.
It starts in Mossel Bay and ends around Port Elizabeth, and in the middle is a town called Knysna.
Knysna is a sleepy seaside town with an idyllic lagoon and island living. We love the East Heads Cafe, which is perched above the Heads, which are two peninsulas that enclose the river statuary.
Some believe the Heads were created around the time of the breakup of the great supercontinent called Pangaea in the Jurassic Age.
Sitting at the lighthouse in Knysna at the end of the great continent of Africa, wow.
Before we took the kids on safari, we first wanted to take them to some animal sanctuaries so they could have some up-close encounters with animals.
Knysna Elephant Park is an elephant sanctuary and was the first to care for orphaned elephants.
Over the years, they've provided and cared for over 40 elephants. Whether the elephants are orphaned, injured, or relocated, they all have a home here.
We learned a lot from the ranger about the elephant's biology and habits. These trunks can be used as a hand, a snorkel, or an upper lip. That's a useful tool.
The elephants were able to move wherever they wanted.
They are huge animals, which can be dangerous, so respect is important.
The ranger was always close by, making sure we were safe and the elephants were safe. I'll never forget being so close to these awe-inspiring animals.
Walking with the elephants, divine. It's something I'll treasure forever. There are many different birds on the African Savanna, even raptors.
Raptors are birds of prey. That means they hunt smaller animals as their food source.
What are birds of prey? Eagles, hawks, falcons, and vultures.
Here they have birds that cannot survive in the wild because of their injuries or their special problems.
They eat chickens, mice, rats, and other animals. Even insects. He flew right by me. Whoosh! feel the feathers touch my head. Raptors are very important on the savanna. They keep the ecosystem healthy. They balance out how many small animals there are. Owls have very good eyesight. It helps them see their prey from far away. They catch their prey with sharp talons. They also have hooked beaks. Owls can turn their head 270 degrees. I wish I could do that. These birds are facing many threats. Their homes are having habitat loss. Some people poison them, or they eat rats that have been poisoned. Some of them are electrocuted.
It's our job to protect the birds of prey.
We should put up owl boxes and invite them to our land. My favorite sanctuary was Teniqua.
Hi, good morning, girls.
Hi.
Welcome to Teniqua. My name is Mcz.
My name is Ash.
Yeah, Ash. I'm glad you guys are here this morning.
We got to join the team of animal keepers at Teniqua to learn what it's like to be an animal keeper for a day.
Comes the food, here comes the food, here comes the food, foodie. You've been tasting all morning. We cut up 20 chickens just for the cats.
Over there. If you can try and get it just around there. There we
Okay.
go. I don't know how you want to
chicken thing?
I don't know how you want to grab it.
Oh, man.
Maybe like that. You think it's too
Do
much?
it, Jet. Come on. It's just a chicken.
I'm a vegetarian, man.
All the animals need to have their food prepared and receive their medication.
Am I getting it angry?
Yeah, he
I
can't,
should throw it now.
He can't wait now because he can see it already.
All right, let's see it.
There we go. Super.
Oh.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Each animal needs to have special care. Lions, leopards, cheetahs, servals. And that's just a few of the animals at Teniqua.
You don't know how fast this can go. In fact, they are the second fastest after cheetahs.
What?
Servals, yes. Oh, hey, check it out. See?
Can we follow him?
Sure. We went into the serval cage with an animal keeper to learn more about these amazing animals.
You see, they have spots like a cheetah.
Servals are very unique. This might be a cat you've never heard of. Here in Africa, they call it the cat with spare parts. They have spots like a cheetah and stripes like a tiger. Well, they're not really stripes, they're spots close together. How cool is that?
Yeah, these are cats actually that they will be found in wetlands, surrounded with grasslands and so on.
Servals are very successful hunters. They can catch up to 30 frogs in 3 hours. Because they have such big ears, they can hear every sound on the savanna.
Look at the ears. You see while we are calling, that's why we say they have excellent ears. Look how it's moving. He's facing to the front, but the ears is to the back to us.
Oh gosh, this is a big cat. Whoa, he thinks I have food.
Just stand back.
The cats think Madison has chicken.
Oh my gosh, this serval thinks my sister Madison has its food. The caracals look super cool with their tufted ears. Caracals have 20 special muscles that swivel around inside their body. It helps them detect the sounds of their prey. They can jump up into 10 feet into the air to grab birds right out of the sky. They use their hooked claws. Now that's intense. The meerkats were adorable too.
You might remember the meerkats from The Lion King. Timon, come on, everyone loves Timon.
They have bushy brown striped fur. And they have big eyes with dark patches. The babies are so tiny. We had to give them cooked chicken without any bones. Their stomachs are too small to process the bones. After we fed the leopard, he jumped onto the cage so we could see him from beneath. Isn't he awesome? We learned so much by caring for all of these African animals. The conservation center I liked the most was the wolf sanctuary.
This is a non-profit sanctuary which has been the guardian of wolves for the last 20 years.
This is a place of safety, a sanctuary for wolves who have been surrendered for a number of reasons.
In the 1970s, the South Africa Defense Force brought Canadian wolves to South Africa. They wanted to breed them with dogs so that they could be used for crowd control.
The program failed, and there were all these wolves that couldn't be taken back to Canada. They ended up in private hands. Not good. The sanctuary has provided care for 500 wolves and wolf dogs. These are wild animals. They should never be kept in a home.
These wolves weren't designed to be in this environment.
It's not good for them or the ecosystem for them to be in Africa. That's why they belong in a sanctuary where they can be safe and protected. The people who run the sanctuary offer them so much care. These beautiful animals have behaviors that we respect. They have a strong family unit and they educate their young.
The garden route was a special time for us as we explored the forest, the coastline, the animal sanctuaries. We saw the learning for the kids come alive.
All these sanctuaries really prepared us for going into the savannah to see the animals in the wild.
When people talk about the African wildlife, they're usually talking about being on a safari.
Long ago in Africa, the animals ruled the land. Today, the predatory animals and the larger animals like elephants, rhinos, and hippos are in protected game reserves.
Today, there are about 13,000 lions in South Africa. But get this, 2,300 of them are completely free, not in any game reserve at all.
Every child in South Africa knows which animals are in the Big Five.
Elephant, rhino, buffalo, lion, leopard. We're hoping to find them all.
We headed to Addo Elephant Park, which is close to the garden route. It's a national park and it has the Big Five and many other African wildlife.
Where are you going?
Into the bush.
What are you gonna find there?
Lions, zebras, elephants, anything.
We rented an African-style hut just outside of the game reserve, and we went on sunset and sunrise drives every day for a week. Going on safari with kids is magical, but you have to wake up early every morning because you need to be in the game park when the animals are most active, which is at sunrise. We took about 2 or 3 hours for each game drive, so that's a lot of driving every day. We're talking 6 hours in the car, but it is so worth it.
Hey, have you seen an elephant around here? I'm looking everywhere. Oh, no! Hey, it's right there.
You have to go very slowly in the park. So we put the seats down, made a play area for the kids, and let them help with the driving. There's something very relaxing about being on safari. Nothing to do other than to drive around and watch animals in the wild.
It's my birthday and I'm on safari in Africa.
Happy birthday, dear Devin. Happy birthday to you.
There are over 600 elephants in the Addo Elephant Park, 400 buffalo, and 50 rhinos.
As an animal lover, this is amazing. I was most excited about the African bush elephant. They are massive, the world's largest land animal. They can weigh up to 7 tons, imagine. And guess what? They can also live up to 70 years old. We spotted so many elephants at the Harcourt Dam. They love to hang out there at the watering hole. Elephants gather in herds with their females and their calves.
It was so cute watching mommy and baby elephants together.
Elephants are highly intelligent and remember everything and everyone. The ranger said it's because of their temporal lobe, which is much larger and denser than humans.
They're always endangered of poachers who want to kill them for their tusks. This is so sad, killing this beautiful animal just for their tusks. Their tusks are actually inside their teeth, like we have. They keep growing their whole lives.
The elephants use mud as sunscreen. Smart.
But here's the thing. In the last century, over 90% of elephants have been wiped out, mostly due to poachers who are searching for them for their ivory.
The rangers all across South Africa work hard to protect their elephants.
South Africa has many different kinds of antelopes: springbok, impala, waterbuck, eland, wildebeest, and more. I love watching them elegantly graze the grasslands. They were moving through the bush to find their food.
We made a fun game out of identifying the antlers of the antelopes so that we could understand and identify them.
The waterbuck is the largest of them all.
We also saw a lot of common duiker. These are the smallest antelopes of South Africa.
They are so adorable. Zebra is plentiful in the game reserve.
They're actually equines. They're more like horses and donkeys.
Are zebras white with black stripes or black with white stripes? Safari is awesome. Do you remember Pumbaa from The Lion King? He was a warthog. It's part of the pig family, but far more interesting. They aren't the prettiest animal on the savannah, but they don't seem to mind.
They are very confident in who they are.
They run around with their tails up. They can seem pretty happy. They can be fierce.
They shovel in the dirt and roll in the mud.
The big cats on the savannah, like lions, leopards, and cheetahs, love a good warthog dinner, so they really have to protect themselves.
They've got big white tusks on the side of their snout.
They also have razor-sharp teeth. With one bite, they can slice the skin off any of their predators.
Ouch!
I am just fascinated by Cape buffalo. Sometimes they hang out with 2,000 of their friends. Now that's a party. They're also really good swimmers, even though they're so big.
But they're very dangerous for hunters. They actually kill more hunters than any other animal.
Dung beetles have the right of way in the game reserve. They're big bugs with a dark body and 6 legs. They have long wings which fold under a hard covering. What do you think dung beetles eat? Any guesses? Remember, they're called dung beetle. Yes, they like to eat animal poop, or dung. They roll the dung into balls and put it into a pile to munch later. Can you say ew? They also lay their eggs inside the dung balls. When the baby eggs hatch, they eat their way out of the ball with what's around them. These cool critters are tiny, but they are also strong. The dung beetle isn't just the world's strongest insect, it's the world's strongest animal.
That would be like Peyton dragging 6 double-decker buses down the road using only her body weight.
No thanks. I'll leave that to the dung beetles. I'm learning all about giraffes. We fed the giraffe by hand. These guys are just roaming free.
These friendly creatures are the tallest land animal on Earth.
Some are taller than 3 humans. They even came to say hi to us in the car. They have very long, scratchy tongues.
Lion, the king of the savannah.
Seeing the lions is a big draw for people visiting Africa. It's pretty crazy to be just driving and then come upon a pride of lions. Seeing a lion walk around your car is pretty scary, but exhilarating. Lions live in a group called a pride.
Moms hunt for food in the lion pride. Without them, the whole group would struggle for food.
The cubs are adorable, spotty little things with curious minds. Male lions are known by their manes. They get longer and darker as they get older. The lioness came right up to our car and sniffed around. Those teeth are ferocious. We held our breath to see what she would do, but eventually she just walked away. Whew, alive for another day.
Thankfully, lions sleep most of the day, probably because they can eat up to a quarter of their body weight in one meal.
Here's a fun fact. The lions are the only cat species who roar together. The baby cubs even join in the cat call.
Their call can be heard from up to 5 miles away.
Lions are truly magnificent creatures.
You have to agree, lions are pretty cool.
Going on safari is something we will do again and again with our kids as they grow up. There's no better way to learn how to respect these beautiful animals who we share our planet with.
If there's one thing you do with your kids before they leave home, do this. Take them on safari in Africa.
Wow, a month in South Africa. I feel like we've had a treasure trove of experiences. We've enjoyed the culture and beauty of Cape Town and the Cape Winelands.
We explored the animal sanctuaries and the joys of the garden route, learning about elephants, birds of prey, big cats, and wolves.
And we've learned about so many incredible animals by going to the animal sanctuaries, going on safari drives, and from the game rangers.
South Africa is an incredible country with stunning scenery.
I think South Africa is one of the best places on planet Earth.
Cape Town should be a top family destination. There's just so much to do.
I'll never forget the animal encounters that I had in South Africa. Can we go on safari every year, please?
No doubt, South Africa was a wild adventure.
This is Journey into Wild South Africa, the African Savanna.